It's the age-old tale of the Japanese manufacturer giving the world the best they've got and giving us Americans the leftovers. The MK5 Supra Final Edition is nothing but a black Supra with red trim. Completely neutered for the American market, this is a big middle finger to us enthusiasts. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 15 of the Rated Report. I'm your host Travis, bringing you the latest in enthusiast news. I thought we were over this. Heck, I thought Toyota was the one manufacturer that would actually give us the better model. Back in the day, the US market MK4 Supra was actually more powerful than the Japanese model. I celebrated the fact that Toyota was possibly the only Japanese manufacturer giving us their top of the line over even their own market. At least to my knowledge, they were the only ones. RX-7s were lower powered. We barely saw any STIs or Evos until the early 2000s, and Skylines were nothing but a dream. Alas, Toyota has turned their back on us. The MK5 Supra Final Edition for the US market is coming with the standard 382 horsepower, and not a single horsepower more. Yup, we get no power boost at all. Okay, what about the other upgrades? Swan neck wing? Gone, and replaced with a carbon fiber ducktail spoiler. It will come in manual still, but auto will be an option as well. The brakes are slightly better too. Who cares though? Certainly not them. I could even find the specs on the brakes. The most criminal of all, the red seats are gone. Then they have the nerve to say they will offer us a GT4 appearance package. Okay, so sounds like we're getting some cool aero with that, right? Wrong. It adds some side graphics, red mirror caps, a matte painted rear spoiler, and a blacked out Supra emblem. It'll also give you access to 2 extra paint options, cheekily named Burnout and Undercover. Like, really? This is a smack in the face. This is literally the opposite of the launch edition. Is there any saving grace to this disappointment? Yeah, the price. But even that is laughable. The stripped down Final Edition adds almost $8,000 to the premium trim price, starting at $69,085. It's less than half of what it'll cost other countries to get the full-blown version. No one was going to buy these anyway, to be honest, but it still stings that they would do this to us. At least now, if you buy the Final Edition, feel free to drive it as you please. I guarantee you it will have no positive or negative effects on its value. Toyota is dropping a 4th GR86 Special Edition model. They're riding really heavy on these GR86s, which are phenomenal cars by the way. It just seems they're pumping out these special editions on a regular basis. For example, we have the 10th anniversary for 2023. In terms of meaningful upgrades, it came with an exclusive Solar Shift orange paint color, a rare duckbill spoiler, forged matte black 18-inch wheels, and a GR catback performance exhaust. Toyota kept the production numbers to a limit of 860 units worldwide, making it quite the rarity. The next edition modeled after our favorite tofu driver's AE86, the Trureno edition. As cool as this looks, it was only a graphics package. Not really worth it in my opinion. This one was also limited to 860 units. The next special edition, which was also featured on the previous gen GR86, is the Hakone edition. This one is named after a Japanese turnpike that is pretty iconic. A few small tweaks here and there for additional performance, but still largely minute changes. Can you guess how many units they produced for this one? Yeah, you know it, 860 units. That brings us to their latest special edition variant, the Yuzu edition. At this point, I'm pretty over it. This one brings us a fairly nice shade of yellow, but a gaudy body kit and pretty ricey large silver exhaust tips. I get where this is coming from. It's to pay homage to the Scion FRS release series 1.0 back in 2015. With its black and yellow accents and that not so attractive black and yellow interior, I'd say this one is not my favorite edition. Maybe it's just me, but the seats look quite cheap in how they were designed. Might look better in person, but the pictures aren't doing it any favors. I will say the front end looks quite aggressive with the trim and color setup. I can appreciate the callback to the FRS though, as it paved the way for many of these new sports cars to exist within Toyota today. Okay, I found it. A build that will anger almost everyone. Meet the insane Hemi-swapped MK4 Supra. Now, there's a lot to talk about here. First off, why? We all know and love the 2JZ motor, and it's one of the most power-producing power plants you can have, even by today's standards. It almost seems like a waste putting a Hemi in it, but not because it's an inferior motor. It's a Hellephant crate engine with 1,000 horsepower. A 7-liter V8 stuffed into the engine bay of the Mark IV Supra is quite puzzling to say the least. I think this is an exercise of doing something because you can. Taking a look at the build, literally everything is custom tailored to make the engine fit. From the engine and transmission mounts to those beautiful headers, the build itself is a masterpiece in witchcraft. It greatly delves into the kind of work and planning that goes into these types of builds. The skills and blueprinting that is essential for a properly planned build is paramount for a badass build, and this is clearly going to be badass. Putting an American power plant into a JDM body is not foreign in the enthusiast world. LS-RX-7s were a major thing back in the day. LS Miatas, LS240s, LSs were going into almost everything. American motors have always been regarded as cheap and reliable horsepower with big displacement. Whether staying with all motor or going forced induction, local parts meant cheaper build and budget power. There's no denying the 2J tax. Although the Hellephant is nowhere near a cheap motor. With an MSRP of $30,000, it is a complete motor that you can just drop in, assuming it's into something like a Dodge Charger or a Challenger. With all the fabrication needed to make this motor fit the Supra, I'm not sure it's viable doing the swap, other than for bragging rights, or to piss off some purists. Either way, I think it's a bad to the bone build and I can't wait to see it completed. What do you guys think? Leave a comment in the section below and let's talk about it. That's all today for the Rating Report. Be sure to check out last week's video and subscribe to stay updated for the latest enthusiast news. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next week.